What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to go over Solana because its price is doing exactly what we talked about in the last video, and I want to update you on what we're looking for next. And so with that said, of course, let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about some Solana. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade some Solana yourself on up to 50x leverage without needing any KYC, meaning you're not handing over your personal information, you're just signing up and starting trading, you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses if you do use my affiliate link to Margex down below. Guys, this is the exchange that I do all of my trading on. I mean, you can see it here. There's a ton of different options for collateral. It makes my life super easy, great fees. So feel free to go check that out again down in the description below. Now, to bring you up to speed a little bit, in the last video, we were talking about the fact that I thought that Solana might see some type of pullback towards this red box. It was about 3 or 4 days ago, and we were around this level, and I said, look, we just broke out of this macro inverse head and shoulders like we had been hoping for. We made a beautiful move up, and we got this little bitty stalling moment right here. And I was like, look, this is great and all, but for a structure this big, I'm not quite sure that this is what we're going to call a back test. I'm not quite sure that this little move like that is what we're going to call a back test. I told you all to be very, very careful because there was an opportunity that Solana's price, even though it was pushing upwards, was going to come back down, try to flip this previous point of resistance into support, and then try to continue upwards. And as you guys can see, that is exactly how this played out. We got a pullback to the downside. The bull stepped in to buy up this liquidity zone, then forcing its price back towards the top side, leaving us where we are today. And so today we're going to talk about what I'm expecting next, what's happening right now, and are we still on track to see Solana's price venture into this green box, possibly upwards to $190 to $200. So looking at the 4 hours, okay, zooming back in, we need to pay very close attention to what is happening right now. As you guys can see, this is the back test that we were just talking about of that. Oh, there we go. This is the back test that we were talking about of that previous point of resistance, which is now some support. And we are currently up here trying to re-clear this previous macro high. So what's next for Solana at this given point, in my opinion, is the attempt at a higher low. What we can see here is that as Solana's price has been venturing upwards, it did run into a little bit of resistance right here, right? We got a double establishment of resistance, currently forcing the price back down around $177. And oftentimes what happens in moments like this, in which a crypto's price is, you know what, guys, actually, sorry, I hate to do this. There we go. I want to move that down a little bit. Oftentimes, whenever we see something of this nature, okay, in which you have a previous point of resistance, you come back down, you push back upwards, and you hit that point of resistance again, what you'll usually see is some sort of rejection, an establishment of a higher low, and the attempt to use that higher low to surpass that double establishment of resistance there. Especially when you're in a bullish phase of momentum like we are right now, it seems as if that is what's most likely. So what I think should happen at this given point, and what I'm watching for next, is for Solana to try to flip another previous point of resistance into some support. As you can see here, as Sol has been making this move upwards, we did leave behind some previous points of liquidity, right? We had resistance there, we had a resistance there, we had some support right here, we had a resistance right here, we had a little resistance there as well, and we are still establishing and continuously putting some support in right here. And so what I'm looking at for Sol right now is whether or not its price is going to be able to hold above $171 to $173. If Solana's price can hold above this level, I do think it's just a matter of time before its price clears this point of resistance it's under right now, breaks through 177, and tries for that push back up to 185. But of course, if Solana's price is unable to do so and we lose 171, well, things do get a little bit more concerning, because you have to understand that in a moment in which you have resistance, a valley, and resistance, and you start pushing back towards that valley, now we're worried about the thought of a double top, right? Now the thought that, oh shoot, are we about to see Solana's price really start capitulating back to the downside and start making some moves back towards some of these lower liquidity levels, maybe even around $140. There is a valid concern there. And so because of that, although I'm not, or with that in mind, I'm not concerned that that's going to happen right now. Obviously, we have this liquidity zone right here. We have this massive liquidity zone right here. We have a bunch of support below us, all of which could hold the price upwards, but we do want to see that start happening sooner than later. I don't particularly want to see Solana's price come back down and retest this level again, because the more times that we touch it, the more likely we are to push through it. And so where we are with Solana right now is that it did get the beautiful back test that we were looking for. It flipped this previous point of resistance into some support, and its price did continue upwards in a great fashion. But what needs to happen at this given point is we need to see it come back down, establish some support here, and use this foundation to clear this double establishment of resistance that we're seeing right now. Because if this does force us downwards, it could start getting a little bit concerning if, you know, especially if we do lose 170 and then we start venturing back towards 160. So watch this very closely. Personally speaking, I'm extremely happy with the buys that we did around the breakout of that inverse head and shoulders. I'm very, very happy with the purchases that were done in this little zone and in this little zone as we made the head and the right shoulder. So because of that, I'm still not doing a ton of buying right now. Historically speaking, when we hit this green zone, all hell breaks loose. So there's no point in buying directly below it, in my opinion. I'm just going to let this play out, get my thoughts a little bit more clear on what's going to happen once we get more clarity of if we're going to be able to push into this zone or not. And then I'll start making some moves from there. But it's extremely important to watch very closely what is happening right now, because we want to see Solana's price push past this green line, push past 170, and don't form a double top right here. We don't want to see this happening, because again, it could start forcing the price back as low as, you know, $137 to $140, and nobody wants to see that. So of course, I will continue to update you as this does play out, but please do watch 177 extremely closely. If you guys do want, you can subscribe to the channel. I plan on dropping another video on Solana just tomorrow, going over even again what's happening, just to keep you super up to date on its price as this important decision is made. So feel free to again subscribe to the channel down below, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.